As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications, in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization, ARDO, New Delhi, organized this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today is the 66th edition of the webinar series. 12th March 2022. This program is being conducted every week on Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Indian Standard Time. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency the Secretary General, African Asian Rural Development Organization, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome our guest speaker of today's webinar, Mr. GAJANAN RAUTA. Today's topic is Aspirational District Program in Left-Wing Extremism Affected District, a successful model of data-driven governance. Mr. GAJANAN RAUTA is the lead public policy in action, transforming rural India Foundation and program officer for TA-NRLM Farm Livelihoods, Minister of Rural Development, Government of India. I wish to inform the participants and also the guest speaker that under this international webinar series, these two centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, have organized 65 lectures so far in the areas of open technologies to provision simple and economical IT infrastructure, a roadmap for students using free and open source software and reaching goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat, free and open source software adoption and business models, open source software and industrial IoTs for SMEs, open data platform for smart digital government, technology imperatives, make in India for self-reliance, edge artificial intelligence, data governance for self-reliant India, digital India transforming governance and society, India email service, citizen@indiamail.com in 22 constitutionally recognized languages, ecosystem architecture for digital transformation, education system cyber critical infrastructure, seizing opportunities in open innovation and value creation network in the digital world for self-reliant economy, ensuring food safety and compliance through technology, digital India, urgent need for semiconductor manufacturing in India, technology investment in agriculture value chain, role of foreign direct investments, entrepreneurship and skill development, AI design pathways, rise of platform economy, revisiting value chain governance, the era of automation, industrial robotics, and Industry 4.0 Indo-German perspective of technology transfer, skill gap analysis, and opportunities. Role of artificial intelligence in healthcare, current developments in diagnosis and vaccine research, digital agri-tech and agri-startup perspective, health informatics network value chain, e-health system, and beyond. Leveraging emerging technology for ensuring transparent and traceable agri and food supply chains. Unleash the power of citizen development for enterprise software development. e-governance models towards sustained quality service to citizen backed up by technology. Indian MSMEs to adopt Industry 4.0 technology capabilities, urgent need for mentorship and accelerator program. Building public digital platform using microservices and APIs. Health informatics network value chain, early childhood development and learning. Health informatics network value chain, clinical AI, in interface between machine learning and health informatics. Health informatics network value chain, importance of social medicine and community health in the times of health emergency. Gravity filter, a simple low-cost solution to the drinking water treatment in rural India. Open source Govt startups empowering growth with automation. Digital transformation in small enterprises and small businesses of India, challenges and opportunities. National Digital Twine Program, need for a robust geospatial infrastructure. Industry 4.0 in MSMEs, benefits of indigenously developed CollabCAD software from National Informatics Center. Mass serialization and counterfeiting solutions to fight illicit trade. Cyber security, risk, challenges and solutions. Intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. New Internet IPv6 root server towards Atmanirbhar Connected Bharat. Indian startups, reflections and possible policy interventions needed for scaling up to Gram Panchayat. Blockchain and crypto for a digital assets platform, place pathways for global trade. Robots as a service, leverage technology to solve enterprise challenges. Space startups connecting to international markets with emerging business models. Enabling technologies for future vision. Vivekananda Secondary Education and Skill Development Mega Project in potential impact on rural entrepreneurship and the rural economy in India. The Sports Grails, a digital sports media platform and prospects of Indian sports industry sustainability model at a global level. Pharma 4.0, Industry 4.0 applications to pharmaceutical manufacturing, path to a digital transformation. Accelerate and scale non-linear growth through partner ecosystem. Technological renaissance and the human capital, a perspective. Health informatics network value chain, medical outreach challenges and potential. Challenges versus potentials. Beyond COVID-19, revitalizing micro and social enterprises. Project management essentials, launchpad for future CEOs and startup founders beyond. Society 5.0, a new society beyond Industry 4.0 and post-COVID-19. Smart village, community, the African IoT ICT lessons. Digital economy, ways and means to protect and empower social reliance. Digital economy, ways and means to protect and empower for self-reliance. Pragmatic base for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Democratization of essential services by using sustainable energy as a catalyst. Transforming India through relevant education and vocational training. Digital technology in simplifying citizen life. Online learning through the pandemic and its future. Smart microeconomic zones, pathway for self-reliance at village level. Crime prediction support system. Knowledge management for development partners to achieve the sustainable development goals of UN and implementing the Agenda 2030. Millet value chain from IoT to blockchain, a traceability roadmap. Today is the 66th edition of this very important webinar series. We'll have the talk by our guest speaker, Mr. GAJANAN RAUTA, Lead Public Policy in Action, Transforming Rural India Foundation and Program Officer, Technical Assistant, NRLM, from Livelihoods, Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India, on very important topic, Aspirational District Program in left-wing extremism affected district, a successful model of data-driven governance. Dear participants, you see the keywords very carefully. Aspirational District Program, left-wing extremism affected districts, data-driven governance, and successful model. And Atmanirbhar Bharat is the road ahead. It is the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, of making India a self-reliant nation rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation, and based on 5 pillars, namely economy, quantum jump, and not incremental, infrastructure, one that represents modern India, system 21st century technology driven, vibrant demography, and demand whereby the strength of our demand and supply chain should be utilized to the full capacity. Digital India program aims to transform India into a knowledge-based economy and a digitally empowered society. And on 20th February 2019, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology published a report titled India's $1 trillion Digital Economy. In collaboration with McKinsey and Company, this report identified about 30 digital themes. If scaled up nationally, can accelerate India's progress in 9 key areas. This is very important. Digital India program in left-wing extremism affected district. How this can make a different developmental model. 30 digital themes and 9 key areas. And this is one has to look into it. I'm putting this point straight away to our guest speaker. While he is talking, he will also give reference to this. This is from the Ministry of Electronics Information Technology. How this report is being operationalized or action plan has been taken to the aspirational district program, transformation of aspirational digital program. Digital world is the rise of platform economy. Digital ecosystems are essential for digital transformation in the digital world. Digital ecosystems are essential for the digital transformation in digital world. What are the frontier technology which are making digital ecosystem in the planet operational and meaningful? And these are cloud computing, mobile phones, IoT platforms, social media, GPS, advanced human-computer interaction, and authentication and intrusion detection, 3D printing, smart sensors, augmented reality, analysis of big data, and advanced algorithm, and user data collection. So these are all the frontier technologies. This is about 12 technologies which are impacting the digital ecosystems in the planet. And I also would like to quote on another report which said that in 2020 there are about 10 technologies which have impacted. Which are they? Artificial intelligence, 5G, IoT, serverless computing, biometrics, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, robotics, natural language processing, and quantum computing. Digital transformation is building public digital platform using microservices and APIs. It is to be used by the public, and as far as at the grassroots level is concerned, there are 5 technology trend is very important: agriculture 4.0, industry 4.0, and society 5.0. Society 5.0 has come from Japan, industry 4.0 has come from German, and agriculture 4.0 has to go from India. And we also have Amrit Kaal led up, it's a strategic plan for the next 25 years, which has been spelled out during the Union Finance Minister's budget speech this year on 1st February 2022, titled Amrit Kaal led up to at 100. And that is from at 75 to 100. That is 2047. And in the budget speech, it also talks about 4 priorities: Prime Minister's Gadi Shakti, inclusive development, productivity enhancement and investment, sunrise opportunities, energy transition, and climate action and financing of investment. So these 4 priorities are also have to get into these aspirational district level programs. Sustainable Development Goals of the UN Agenda 2030, it is the future we want. These goals are global goals are adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030 all people enjoy peace and prosperity. 17 goals. These 17 sustainable goals are interrelated. They recognize that action in one area will affect outcomes in other, and that development must balance social, economic, and environmental sustainability. Creativity, know-how, technology, and financial resources from all of society is necessary to achieve the sustainable development goals in every context. 17 goals, 169 targets. And it's very important. And this 2030 agenda gives a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for the people and the planet, and now and into the future. And I was very much impressed by the chapter 14, agenda 21 of the Rio Earth Summit, 1992, which made me to organize an national conference on informatics for sustainable agriculture development in 1995 at Vigyan Bhavan, Delhi. The chapter 14, agenda 21 talked about sustainable agriculture and rural development. I thought, why can't India adopt this? As a technocrat, working in the area of IT and agriculture, I took that agenda 21, chapter 14, and on the basis, I organized a national conference that is called the National Conference on Informatics for Sustainable Agriculture Development, ISDA 95, which gave an IT blueprint for agriculture sector in India: AgMarkNet, AgriSnet, FishNet, FertNet, and so on and so forth. Knowledge management network is very important to make sustainable development goals are operationalized at the ground level. Knowledge management network is a structure designed to help every organization to map, create, distribute, scale, and optimize organization's knowledge and knowledgeable resources. This knowledge management framework is very important to be operationalized for transforming aspirational district development program. It consists of explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge. Explicit knowledge, manuals, how to guide, memos, documents, videos, notes, procedures, databases, and records. Tacit knowledge includes individual skills, ideas, cultural beliefs, expertise, insights, values, education, intuition, attitudes, experience, observation, and mental models. I also would like to quote the Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 report to 2018. I was associated with the Doubling Farmers' Income Committee report as a chairman of group leader for two subcommittees, Volume 11 and Volume 12B. Volume 12B talks about digital technology in agriculture. As a person who is working at the grassroots level from 1987, that is District Information System of National Informatics Center in 512 districts at that time as a district information system. And then 95 at Informatics for Sustainable Agriculture Development, and operationalized the many informatics network in the agriculture sector in the country. And I was able to give an integrated approach for digital technology in agriculture. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Okay. And the recommendations of the Doubling Farmers' Income Committee report are 7 mission mode programs: digitalized agriculture, digital technology and innovation in agriculture, synergization of Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India programs for transformational reforms in agriculture sector, smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming, and digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions, digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro-level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming, digitalized value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities, and digitalized access to input technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management formats, and digitalized integrated land and water management systems, and digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss, human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, and fish health, and environmental health is very important. And these 7 mission mode programs are, if they are operationalized in all the 117 aspirational districts under the transformation of aspirational district program, and they can achieve all the 17 sustainable development goals and also the various objective of transformation of aspirational district program in no time. An aspirational district program, let me introduce this theme to the audience. It is aimed at localizing sustainable development goals. This is from the website of Niti Aayog, niti.gov.in. And it says that aspirational district programs essentially is aimed at localizing sustainable development goals leading to the progress of the nation. It was announced in January 2018, and to transform quickly and effectively 112 districts effectively, and 5 districts from West Bengal are yet to join. It's the most underdeveloped district across 28 states. 27 districts under the purview of Niti Aayog, 35 left-wing extremism affected districts under Ministry of Home Affairs, and 55 districts under various central ministries. 3 core principles: convergence of central and state schemes. This is what even the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report starts about it. Collaboration among citizens and functionaries of central and state government, including district teams. And competition among districts through monthly delta ranking, all driven by a mass movement. And which are all the 5 main themes: health and nutrition, education, agriculture and water resources, financial inclusion and skill development, and basic infrastructure. With weightages: health and nutrition 30%, education 30%, agriculture and water resources 20%, financial inclusion 5%, skill development 5%, basic infrastructure 10%, 100% totality. 81 data points, 49 key performance indicators. And these districts are encouraged to develop and replicate best practices that drive important across socio-economic theme. And Niti Aayog is partnering with the 2 survey agencies, namely Tata Trust and ID Insight, in 76 and 25 districts respectively. It is important, however, to note that all the dimensions are not considered equal in constructing a composite index for every district, taking cognizance of the nature of development challenges in India. Government is committed to raise the living standards of its citizens, ensuring inclusive growth for all, sabka saath, sabka vikas, and sabka prayas. And UNDP report lauds aspirational district program. It recommends replication in other parts of the world. And it is, as per the report released by the Press Information Bureau on 11th January 2021, it is an independent appraisal report by the United Nations Development Program, which has lauded the Aspirational District Program as a very successful model of local area development that should serve as a best practice for several other countries where regional disparities in development status persist for many reasons. And I would like to quote in this regard our Honorable Prime Minister, what he said on January 5th, 2022. We are living in an era of immense possibilities, which in turn creates opportunities. We are living in an era of immense possibilities, which in turn creates opportunities. We need to identify existing aspirations in the district and channelize them to create a ripple effect for transforming transitional districts, aspirational district. The development of every village of these 115 districts is vital to our commitment to social justice and is very important. Smart village is very important. That's what our Honorable Prime Minister says. I was instrumental in getting a scheme approved as a smart village program in 2002-2007. And I was trying to work for one smart village, one district per state, 28 plus 1 in Andaman, but I was not allowed to do that project even though it is an approved scheme by Planning Commission. And when our Honorable Prime Minister announced the Smart City program, I took out my proposal, which was lying in store, and from the university we rolled out. And I'm very happy that now the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report 2018 also includes smart village and smart farming in its volume 12B. And I'm also very happy that today's talk is on left-wing, aspirational district program in left-wing extremism affected district, a successful model of data-driven governance. Andhra Pradesh 1 district, Bihar 6 districts, Chhattisgarh 8 districts, Jharkhand 16 districts, Maharashtra 1 district, Odisha 2 districts, and Telangana 1 district as per the data available on government website. And he is also our guest speaker, Mr. GAJANAN RAUTA from Transformation of Rural India Foundation, is also going to talk on data-driven governance model. Tata Trust data-driven governance model portfolio aims to strengthen rural and urban decision system through the use of data and technology. Tata Trust have been providing functional and technical support to the government for carrying out data-intensive planning as a means to supplement the decision making, leading to the creation of Delta ranking. Delta means what? D, data. E, evaluation. L, learning. T, technology. And analysis framework. Delta framework. Incremental evaluation. Tata Trust investments in the digital platform. There is a digital infrastructure for governance, impact, and transformation of the e-government foundation has led to the development of National Urban Innovation Stack. I'm very happy about to mention during this webinar. And this is very important. And their pilot project, City Data Officer pilot project in Pune, has been adopted and scaled up by Smart Cities Mission, which has nominated 100 city data officers in all smart cities. And I am very happy that digital urban stack is a set of open APIs, services, and reference implementation set up as a public good to allow government entities, businesses, and startups and civil society to use a unique digital infrastructure and build social solutions to urban India at a large scale. And with this background, let us now turn to the address by our guest speaker, GAJANAN RAUTA, Lead Public Policy in Action, Transforming Rural India Foundation, and Program Officer, Technical Assistant, National Rural Livelihood Mission, Farm Livelihoods of Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India, on very important topic, Aspirational District Program in Left-Wing Extremism Affected Districts, a successful model of data governance model, data-driven governance. This topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching over telecast through facebook.com/Shobhit University India or youtube.com/Shobhit University in or linkedin.com/company/Shobhit-University for motivating them to get inspired to work in 117 districts of the country for undertaking digitalization in identified sector, health and nutrition, agriculture and water resources, education, financial inclusion, and basic infrastructure and the transformation of aspirational district program through startups at Gram Panchayat level in these identified districts. Let me introduce our guest speaker to the audience. Mr. Manish, can we put the profile? Mr. Gajanan Rauta leads the farm livelihoods engagement under the technical assistance to De Dindayal Antyodaya Program, National Rural Livelihood Mission Program since 2021. He has over 13 years of experience in program management of large-scale government programs at central as well as state level on rural livelihoods, tribal welfare, and educational administration. He has worked with the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Rural Development, United Nations Development Program UNDP, and tribal welfare departments in governments of Odisha and Gujarat, and have offered strategic support in designing, planning, implementing, scaling, and monitoring of the programs. As part of this role in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Gajanan Rauta has helped in strategy setting, planning, and monitoring of transformation of aspirational district program and special central assistance program in districts severely affected by left-wing extremism, and running the aspirational district fellowship supported by Tata Trust. He has helped an instrumental role in improving timely payment of wages, skilling and development of barefoot technician, and creating climate resilient infrastructure under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. He has led the Census Adarsh Gram Yojana and supported in creating the planning, convergence, and monitoring framework for the Adarsh Gram. Gajanan Rauta has worked on augmenting livelihoods and education of the vulnerable communities, including particularly vulnerable tribal groups, in the states of Orissa and Gujarat. As part of the Tribal Empowerment Livelihood Program, PVTG Empowerment and Livelihood Programs, Focused Area Development Programs, and Van Bandhu Kalyan Yojana. Gajanan Rauta holds a PG diploma in rural management from Xavier Institute of Social Service, Ranchi, and a certificate in project management from IIT Delhi. With this, I would like to welcome and invite Mr. Gajanan Rauta from Transformation of Rural India Foundation to our international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, on the topic Aspirational District Program in Left-Wing Extremism Affected District, a successful model of data-driven governance. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me for this international webinar. I'm very happy to be part of this, and also I learned a lot while you were addressing many of the transformation that the country has made in terms of digital technology. And there is a huge potential that we have to, go forward and see how technology can actually help transforming lives in rural India. I am very positive about it, and but today I'll be making my presentation very brief, and I'll be speaking mostly about the kind of works that we do in aspirational districts in the which are severely affected by left-wing extremism. We have done that work in the last 3.5 years, and I'll be I'll just take some time to present the slides, and then if there is any comments or questions from the audience, I would be happy to answer them. Let me just put up my slide. I hope it is visible. Is it visible, sir?
Yes,
Yes,
it's
sir.
visible.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'll be speaking about the transformation of aspirational district program in the Naxal affected districts. You can say the left-wing extremism affected districts. So in the presentation, I've tried.
Mr. Gajanan, can you go to the previous slide?
Yeah.
Okay, just one. Okay,
Thank
carry
you.
on.
So I have tried to structure the presentation into 5 key parts. One talks about overall what is this aspirational district program is all about. Second, I'll try to touch upon the data governance model that this program has. And third is about a fellowship that we run in the left-wing extremism areas and the benefits that it has brought. I'll share 1 or 2 success stories. And then based on the learnings, what are the way forward that we think that the country needs right now for achieving the aspirational district program goals. So this is how I have tried to structure the presentation. So if you, I'll start with the basic of the program, which is transformation of aspirational districts. Now, if you will see this program, there are three key words. One is transformation, and very consciously the terms like change, improvement, development, all these were avoided. But it is beyond that. That's why how the program is designed. So it talks about transformation. It doesn't talk about change or improvement, which is unilateral, but it is a transformation which changes or improves things within. So transformation, and then consciously the term of backward and underdeveloped is removed, and it is an aspirational, which is a positive connotation towards this. And India as a federal structure, if you will see, the districts are considered to be a feasible unit of intervention for implementing a program of this scale. And the entire initiative was to improve the governance in those districts, not to bring any other stuff, but we think that the government of India thought that governance is the only segment which need to be improved so that the outcomes will be much better. And when this program was conceptualized, so basically the idea how it came and why the country thought that there is a need to develop such a program, it came from the basic statistics that in 2016 the United Nations come up with the Human Development Index report, and India fared 131 out of the 188 districts. So it's very poor in terms of HDI at that point of time, and that is, and then the ministries and the Niti Aayog tried to identify why there is the HDI is so low. So there are few findings. One is that there is a huge interstate and interdistrict variations. There are many contributing factors in health, education, economy, basic infra, and services, which are poor in few parts of the districts, which is dragging the overall HDI at the national level. And that's how the program was thought of. And the Niti Aayog tried to identify pockets where, based on the development indicators, the the performance was not as good as it should be. So that's how it all started. And at that point of time, a lot of analysis was done on different thematic areas. This is just an horrible scenario that our country is having. I mean, if you will see the nutrition status in the year 2014-15, so one in every two women is anemic, almost 50%. Every three children is stunted, four children is malnourished, every five children is wasted. And the if you will see the IMR and MMR rates, it's also very high. So at that point of time, there was a lot of analysis done in terms of which are the pockets which are faring below the national average and which are the pockets which are doing pretty good in terms of development indicator. These are few of the snapshots of those analysis which across the country, if you will see, nutrition is, again, if you will see in the northern and central belt, it is very poor. Underweight is entire western and northern India. Similarly, around IMR, MMR, then you have a immunization coverage. So all those analytics was done. If you will see the learning outcome among the primary school children, you can see how the students learning ability was very poor. And this, I'm projecting this from the National Achievement Survey report of 2015, which was published by NCERT. And if you will see, there was so all these actually all these status actually talked about why there is a need for a very dedicated program in India which can actually improve the status of development. So then there were a lot of brainstorming. So there are few policy options which came into a picture. One is that the government will do nothing, then it will, so there will be pockets of underdevelopment which will persist for a longer period of time. Then the another option is that there could be larger budgetary support. But if you will see, the country's overall budgetary support department wise has increased manifold, but there are severe limitations why it is not implemented on ground. Then the third option was that you invest into private capital, and you will find that the private enterprises will work, but there are again limitations. And the fourth one is about improve impact of government spending, which was thought as a possible solution. And that's how this aspirational district program was designed. And if you will see the basic architecture of this program, it was very much focused into with key sectors which contributes largely towards uh, human development. Then there is it is more driven by data. Then there is a monitoring and competition which is encouraged among the districts. Then there is a continuous support towards capacity building of functionaries, and there is a platform for collaboration. So this is how the program was designed. And if you will see the it talks about three C's, that is convergence, collaboration, and competition. Now convergence basically talks about there is a single goal alignment should be there, and multiple ministries, multiple stakeholders should converge their efforts and work towards the larger goal of development. Collaboration basically talks about collaboration between private sector, between the government, between the panchayati raj institutions, and with the community based organization. And competition basically talks about each district need to compete with each other so that they will reach to the nations based or states based position. Likewise, 112 districts were identified, and based on few of the development indicators, and this is where the 112 districts are located across the country. Now, when the program was designed, as I mentioned, there was a very specific priority towards five key sectors. These are health, education, agriculture, financial inclusion, and skill development. And the last one is basic infrastructure. Now, if you will see the weightage that is being given in the program, so health and nutrition is given the largest because it contributes very high towards individuals' future. And then education enables a person for the overall growth and development. So that's why education is again given the highest priority. And India's economy is mostly agrarian. So agriculture and water resource is also the key towards economic prosperity. So towards that, if you will see, these three sectors comprise 80% of the overall thrust. And then financial inclusion, skill development, and basic infrastructure are also important. So overall, the program focuses on five key sectors. There are 49 indicators which was designed, and it was thought that each of the district will compete with each other, and they will uh, perform. But India has a lot of similar kind of, as I mentioned, this is what the aspirational district programs indicators are all about. But if you will further go and deep dive into the different sectors, then recently there are a lot of indices which were developed. For example, the composite water management index, there is a health index, there is a school education quality index, there is India innovation index, there is SDG India index, and ease of living index. All these are very well thought, well articulated monitoring indicators which those respective ministries do take up. Just to give you a snapshot of what water management index is all about, water management index is there, then there is a health index, and there is a school education quality
No,
index. Then
can you go very slowly?
yeah, I think, sir, there are this is
Slowly.
what I this is what I wanted to say, that there are multiple management indexes and monitoring indexes which the government has developed. So one of them is water management index, then there is a health index.
Let the people read it. Just give some
I'll
1 minute
put
for.
this slide, I'll share it with you, sir. I think for each of these indicators, it's a comprehensive tool which ministries to take up, and I think it will take a lot of readings to understand what these indexes actually talk about. Then there is a
Very
School
good.
Education Quality Index. It is available in NITI Aayog's website. Then there is a India Innovation Index. Again, it is available in NITI Aayog. It has been published in the year 2019. Then there is STG India Index. Again, it is available in NITI Aayog's website. You can go and see. There is a baseline report of 2018, which talks about 62 indicators, around 17 STG goals, and the current status of Indian districts. Now coming back to the aspirational district program, as I mentioned, the TADP program focuses around five key sectors. Now, as I mentioned, this program is mostly driven by data, and there is a strong focus towards monitoring and encouraging competition between the districts. So what the Niti Aayog has done is that they have created a robust dashboard, which is helping all the states, all the districts to understand and understand their performance in terms of sector-wise indicators. It also talks about different projects which are being approved. What is the status around those programs? So basically, this is a platform that empowers the district administration for taking data-driven, decisions. Second, there is no need to set up a separate, setup for or investment for doing all this. It is available within the existing resources. District can just simply go to the website, see their data, see what is happening in the district, what is the progress around different indicators, and there is a lot of focus around the capacitating all the functionaries. And there are a lot of analytical tools which were integrated into this dashboard, where district collectors can actually take a lot of analysis. Just I'll take, for example, there are citizen reports which talks about districts progress around different themes and indicators. Then there is a data visualization tool. You just put a few of the data and it will analyze automatically and give you the output. Then there are project management modules for different projects that has been integrated. There are special maps which are integrated within the dashboard that basically talks about land use planning and soil and water conservation and stuff. Then there are a lot of artificial intelligence based tools. If you just click a photograph, upload it, then it will automatically say. So it was an experimentation, and it talks about the breast cancer screening that has been integrated into the dashboard. Then there is a automated data quality and monthly performance report which is sent to the districts. So all these are helping each of the district administration to see how the district is doing around different indicators, and that is backed by data. I'm just showing the snapshot of how the performance report is seeing. So if you will see, it talks about the top 10 districts which has improved in the overall program. Then again, it talks about the bottom 10 districts. Then there is a delta ranking for each of the districts. Then there is indicator wise progress among all these districts. So all these are part of the report which is available in the public domain. Anybody can go and see what a district is doing. Similarly, there is a monthly data ranking which comes up. For example, this is a data ranking for the month of September 2020, which talks about the five districts which has done the incremental change is highest in these five districts for the month of September 2020. Similarly, which are those bottom five districts where the incremental change is less. So that's how the ranking is being done every month. Then there is this report for each of the indicator wise. You can see, for example, there is an indicator called as ANC registered within the first trimester, and then it talks about what was there in the last month, what is there in the current month, what is the incremental change. So it talks about the last 3 months incremental change. Then there is data visualization. As I mentioned, you just put data, the system will automatically analyze it and give it to Now this is all for the functionaries. It is not available in the public domain. It is a login based service that is there. Similarly, there are project management tools which helps the district to monitor the progress of these projects on a periodic basis. Then there is spatial analysis of land use planning. This basically helps the farmers to take appropriate decision in terms of crop diversification and maintaining ecological balance in the districts. It also helps in terms of soil and water conservation measures. Then there is a provision that every month the district's data will be automatically quality checked, and whatever is the deviation or discrepancy, it will automatically go to the district collector. That these are the data points where you need to have a relook. These are the data points where you need to see the progress, why the change, why the improvement has significantly dropped or significantly improved. So all these are part of that dashboard, which is a very robust dashboard in terms of monitoring, and that the left all the aspirational districts are taking benefit of. Now coming to my work, which I was part of the team in the Ministry of Home Affairs. So Ministry of Home Affairs basically looked after the 35 severely affected Lakshmi extremism districts, where I basically was leading a fellowship, and there was 100 of fellows who have been part of the team. So if whatever I'm speaking today is I'm just narrating the work that my colleagues have done in the district, and without whom this program would not have been a success. So it is all about the hard work and the kind of work that my colleagues and young professionals did in all those severely affected districts. So I'll briefly talk about this particular program. So this particular program, so MHA and Tata Trust and Transforming Rural India Foundation collaborated in the year 2018. And if you will see in the left side of India's map, you will find that the left wing extremism districts are located mostly in the eastern central belt of India, where there are 35 such districts which are severely affected by left wing extremism. And we worked in those districts. So when we talk about aspirational district, there is challenge of backwardness, there is challenge of governance. But when you talk about aspirational districts, which are at the same time are severely affected by left-wing extremism, there is a dual challenge. It is backwardness plus there is issues of security. So what we did was that we collaborated with the Ministry of Home Affairs, and then we tried to implement a fellowship, which basically tried to work on three particular domains. One is that the existing government system, the existing public delivery system which is there, let us try to strengthen that so that the delivery efficiency is high. Second, let us work around improving the government programs, taking resources from those schemes, but implementing it well in the district. And third, that there are a lot of best practices and innovations which can come to those districts. That's how we try to design the fellowship with these three core deliverables. But the overall vision in those districts was that to improve the quality of life people in those districts. So what we did when we launched this fellowship, we thought that the left side picture basically talks about what is the status in the district right now in 2018, and what as an external partner we can go and work in the districts. So the only transformation we tried to do was to integrate, or you can say to collaborate between different stakeholders, between different government programs that came together, and the delivery efficiency became high. And as a district fellow, my role was to convene many of the meetings, facilitate interaction between them. Whatever challenges that comes to us, we have to act as a knowledge hub, and there is very specific focus towards attainment of results. That's how this entire fellowship and our work was designed. And then how to translate all these works into action. Then we designed, there are four key work streams. One talked about system strengthening, I mean the process re-engineering, uh, supporting to the existing government processes of delivery. Then second, we identified few of the priority areas, or you can say low hanging fruits among education, health, and allied sector. And then we tried to work on that. Then there are state and district government priorities. We supported on that. And the fourth is we brought a lot of social innovations and demonstrated them on ground. So this basically talks about the system strengthening part. So we tried to create a district profile, created a district's vision plan or an action plan. We tried to understand how the data flows within the district and how to strengthen that data flow and interaction thing. Then every month we tried to organize review meetings which were chaired by district collector. There are a lot of policy insights which we brought up. For example, I'll just cite an example. In many parts of rural India, so for example, if you will see the LPG gas connection, usually the cylinder comes in the weight of 14 to 16 kilos. But think about a rural household who doesn't have the paying capacity of, suppose, say 900 rupees is the price of a cylinder, or 1000 rupees is the price of the cylinder. Now, at one go, a rural household can't afford to pay that much. So one of the suggestions which came was like, why don't you reduce the size of the cylinder so that the household can afford 400 or 300 rupees? They can pay it, take a smaller size cylinder, and make use of that cylinder for cooking purpose. So those things were suggested to the Ministry of Petroleum and to different distributing agencies. Similarly, there are a lot of other scheme related challenges. For each of these scheme, we identified many of the challenges and we tried to come up with solutions which we further sent it to different ministries, and the central ministries has in many of the areas they have supported, they have accepted those suggestions and worked upon that. So that's kind of ground truthing of different government scheme implementation and then suggesting to them. Then, as I mentioned, there are few of the low-hanging fruits that we identified. For example, in the left, if you will see, there are 3 items under education we tried to saturate within these 35 districts. And it has a program impact of almost 80% of the indicators within education got impacted. For example, we talked about infrastructure facilities, we talked about the quality education within the schools, and we talked about strengthening the parent teacher association and school management committees functioning. So these 3 set of activities largely contributed towards improvement in education indicators. Similarly, for health, there are 5 key interventions that we did across all these 35 districts, and it has almost 60% implication on the health related indicators. Similarly, if you will go to agriculture and allied sector, there are 2 key interventions that we did, and it almost impacted 30 to 35% of the indicators within agriculture.
Just
Then
1 minute.
then
So
there,
once again, agriculture.
yeah. So what we try to emphasize is that agriculture is largely dependent on irrigation, and so our major focus was to encourage irrigation, increase the net sown area and under micro irrigation, and also we tried to create water bodies rejuvenated under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Then we tried to work on the soil health that will contribute towards a larger productivity in the households. We also worked in the value chain development for agri commodities. So these are the kind of works that we as a team did in those 35 districts. Now coming to few of the stories from ground, this is one of the works my colleagues have done in Chatra district of Jharkhand. If you will see how they have tried to understand, they scanned the entire health system in the district and then tried to come up with 5 key interventions. They thought that the Anganwadi services, which basically talks about women and child health, need to be improved. So why not to convert the existing Anganwadis with better infrastructure, with better services, with better training to the Sahayikas. So they conceptualized a program and tried to convert the existing Anganwadis to a model Anganwadi center. Then there are a lot of challenges of access to health systems. So they try to integrate they developed a project called Project Nidan, which basically is a teleservice kind of a program, and there is a diagnosis equipment which is mobile, so people can take it on a van, and then samples can be collected. At the same time, it can give you around analysis or diagnosis of around 20 plus diseases. So that helped in terms of diagnosis facilities. Then there are ambulance services. There is a lot of challenge in terms of ambulance facilities. And then they also try to equip the existing health workers, which the frontline health workers who basically contributes towards the healthcare system in the rural India. Now, to just cite an example of the ambulance system, this is how the major part of Chatra district looks like. There is 60% or more area in Chatra is covered by forest. And this is how the terrain looks like. Now, think about a four-wheeler ambulance reaching to that hilltop. It's very difficult. Now, what they have designed is that there is a bike ambulance, so that in case a rural household is facing some challenge in terms of transportation to the nearest health facility, then bike ambulance, which is mostly used by youth from that village, can actually help that person to commute from the village to the nearest health center. Similarly, this is a program in Kanker district of Chhattisgarh, where my colleague actually created a program around 100%, detection of anemia. Because, as I mentioned, in every two women in rural India is anemic. So think about the situation, and then he tried that why anemia actually happens. At, at the very late stage, it is being detected. Once the woman gets pregnant, and then when she goes and do her blood testing, then she found that the hemoglobin level is low. But why don't we try to focus and treat, or you can say try to uh, improve the health through nutritional diets and other stuff from the adolescent age, which can prevent to a large extent in terms of getting a women anemic. So what he tried to do was that he tried to do survey or testing of all the women in the district, which is more than around 5 lakh testing was done. Adolescent women's testing was done for anemia detection. And then he tried to create a program where the initial was to understand the status quo in terms of by way of testing. Then he tried to understand what is the supply gap in terms of IFA tablets, iron, sucrose, and blood uh, transfusion services around anemia. And then he tried to create awareness, and then there is, so he tried to create a program all around this and tried to take help from different sector experts and design this program. So there are 100 plus such good works. As I mentioned, these are two examples, but there is a list of such best practices which my colleagues have done on ground, and those have brought sizable, improvements in the districts. So overall, if I summarize what is the work that we did in those districts, so if I can say the 3 years of our intense engagement with the district has brought this outcome, that there is a change, there is a strengthened leadership. I mean, the district administration, the district line department heads, the leadership quality has highly improved. Then there are efficiency in terms of management, then there are efficiency in terms of, and then people took accountability for the kind of work that they do. And in terms of program, if you will see, there is an impact. This particular program, aspirational district program, was brought as a focused program. There is a lot of improvement around programs management. As I mentioned, post-COV is a very technical term which talks about planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, operationalizing, reporting, and budgeting. So all these aspects were improved in the district. Then there is a data governance model which is placed there. A lot of innovations which started from a village was scaled to the district and scaled to the state level. And there is a lot degree of transparency and sense of accountability among the public system functionaries. So that's how the entire fellowship in those districts actually helped. Now, if you will see the results in terms of data, I just try to understand the progress since 2018 till February 2022. What is the progress around different sectors? So overall, if you will see the composite index of that aspirational district indicator, the national average is there is an improvement of around 24%. Despite challenges in those LW districts, the progress is around 22%. And there are breakup of again health, education, agri, finance, and basic infrastructure. You can see those LW districts are mostly at par with the national average and having dual challenge of security as well as backwardness. These districts have done fairly well, and that is possible because there is a youth engagement, there is a dedicated team placed in those districts, and the district collectors, the line department heads all came together to work on these issues. So that positive spirit actually led to such kind of a transformation. But these figures actually talks or is an evidence that there is a possibility and there is confidence that if we work together, there could be a lot of transformation that can happen to those districts. There is a long way to go, but I think these evidences talks about the confidence that the public system has. They have done it in the last 3 years, so they can do a massive change in the next years to come. That is how I see that the beauty is that for the last 3 years the data has been captured, every month it was tracked, and that's the result where you can right now say, okay, what is the progress in those districts. So out of all these 35 districts where we worked, 31 districts who got delta ranking. They were rewarded by district by Niti Aayog, and around 201 crore rupees was provided to those 35 districts as a reward. And a lot of corporate social responsibilities, the central public sector enterprises came to those districts. They supported those districts, and almost 365 crore was mobilized for those districts. Now, if you will see the overall performance, you can see that there are four quadrants in which Niti Aayog has tried to put this data. That there are certain districts which have very low baseline at the beginning of the program, and but the improvement was very high. That's the first quadrant. The left low talks about low improvement despite having low baseline. So that's how the distribution is all about. But the best part is that the top two part is good, and we need to learn from those districts that how they have been able to reach to that level. Now there was a baseline in 2018, and currently in 21 there was a situation study, and you can clearly see how the transformation has happened in the development indicators. So that's how we need to learn that the data model of monitoring has significantly helped the program's delivery to be better. And this is where I want to stop, but there are three core learnings that we took. One is that this particular model where we talked about district as the unit of intervention need to be further taken to the block level, because block also constitutes a very high degree of as an institution it has a lot of strength, and then at the block level they should take it to the gram panchayat level. So all the three tiers in the PRI block, gram panchayat, block panchayat, and the district panchayat also we need to replicate this model in the district, block, and GP setup. Then second, as I mentioned, there are lots and lots of good works that these districts have done. Those who have jumped from this to this, so there is a huge, evidence. There is a huge number of success stories which are available. We need to learn from that and take those interventions, customize those interventions for the localized needs, and implement it. And third is that saturating indicators, whatever is there are many indicators which have saturated, which are more than 100%. You need to just drop those, include few set of more indicators, and I think that will help in terms of more quality improvement in our programs. So I'll stop here. Thank you so much, sir. Anything that you want to comment? I think this is where I have uh, learned that the program is very well planned, and it was very helpful for these districts to prepare a roadmap and come up with a strategy that can transform lives in those area. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gajanan Rauta, for your very inspiring and inspiring, as well as also that very impactful address on the topic. And it is a real data governance model, and associations take shareholders of various shareholders and stakeholders of development at the grassroots level, and identify district based on the statistics available with the NIT Aayog, and then given to various central ministries to monitor, to 55 central ministries, and also that 55 districts to the central ministries, and Ministry of Home Affairs and NIT Aayog. And at the grassroots level, in the as you rightly said it, that in the Ministry of Home Affairs, in the left wing extremism district, for the transformation of aspirational district programs, you felt the need for bringing in the youths who are who has got aspirations to work in the grassroots level as a fellows, and that too from the Tata Trust, that they came down and work in the district, and to make a sea change. And all the slides from the beginning, you have brought out a value chain as to how any national level program, if you would like to operationalize at the grassroots level and see its impact, it has to be done like this. This is something like a way forward, and everything has to be done it. As far as India is concerned, you have plethora of institutions, national level institutions, educational institutions, research institutions, ministry-wise research institution, higher educational research institution, secondary education, higher education. In district level, you have umpteen number. I have been voicing for quite some time that when a district gets about something like at an average about 2,000 crores per annum, why can't the district administration involve the higher education institution located in the district to transform those districts through various analytical frameworks? You said it very clearly that ground to truth thing is very important. How the scheme is going down to the last mile connectivity. You may have internet connectivity problem, or every utility has to reach the beneficiaries. It may be hard or soft, visible and invisible, but the thing is that it has to reach without any leakage. And why can't we have the educational institution which are functioning in the district, and how? That's why now I started voicing that every district should have a CEO for the developmental purpose. Your whole talk is that it is that you have a British Raj magistrate functions are almost over. It's a developmental functions. You have to bring in a lot of people, stakeholders, to work in the district. How the 2,000 crores per annum and an average which goes to the district, how it transform? How every rupee which goes to the district, it gets transformed, and so that it become as the Honorable Prime Minister said it should create a ripple effect. Not only ripple effect, it is a multiplier effect. It has to go horizontally and also to vertical. It is very important that. And that's why whether it is a district or a block or a village, now you have got a local body governance. 2.25 lakh gram panchayat. It's as per the act and as per the constitution. And then as an independent body, a constitutional body with the research bodies and educational institution and administrative bodies, if they work that development is the agenda, now for which all the support utility services are available in terms of information network, in terms of delivery informatics, and so on and so forth, it's all possible. I'm just telling that 1987, when I was given the responsibility to have district information system program, I was given only 6-letter word, district. So, and I thought that, okay, let me go to a state and study. I took a Kerala. I visited 14 districts, had a workshop in every district. In some district, I was received with the black flag. Then with that, how the information gets generated from within the government systems, 1987. And then I had started programs in district, state level. How the people who use those information which comes from the district, it is in the order of about 900 reports, which the district sends it to the state government. Monthly, weekly, fortnightly, quarterly, half-yearly, and annually. And many of the reports are not supposed, it will not, tally with their aggregations. And then it is a manual, paper-based, and you can't even cross-check. Then when I was having discussion with every department in the state level, and, the government changed, and then there was one that I should get out of the state discussion. I should wind up my discussion and go back. And that's how this initial walking alone in the bringing in IT, information technology, induction to the government system, 1987 today, and that led and participated in 5 district collectors conference, which Mr. Rajiv, the then Prime Minister Shri Rajiv Gandhi organized. I participated, presented to all the 512 district collectors who participated. That's how the district level program is pick up, and I'm alive. And 28 sectoral database development program, I have put it in writing and has been published. And the one is, and plus village level information system. If the government would have operationalized all the 28 sectoral database development program and village level development database program as visualized under the district program in 87 to 90, today with artificial intelligence and big data analytics, which is available today, government data would have been available for a deep, analysis. And computers came, computerization took place. They're all only to government computerization to help the officials to, take a decision. But it has gone into the, run-of-the-mill type. And database development didn't take place. Analysis didn't take place. But it has been visualized in 87. Then we came down to 95, IT in agriculture, 15 informatics network program, much development. I was, I thought that after visiting more than 400 districts, so I should, get into agriculture. We were able to see the rural, distress and how to make the rural used to work in rural area. Information technology is important. And that's why it took the Agenda 21 chapter, 14 of Rio Earth Summit recommendation, sustainable agriculture rural development. And today you can see that, after my retirement in 2013 as the Director General NIC and joining with the university to work on, agricultural informatics and e-governance study. This is the only public university, private university is having agriculture as a use case. 5 centers of excellence, agriculture and health and SMEs for digital enablement to bring in rural transformation. And then that's why I made it that, this is when I was made as a chief advisor IT in the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation during the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report, I was able to bring in this recommendation 7 measurement program. Today, I'm very happy to, listen to your presentation. That out of, that now it is 715 districts. And, you need to have a lot of skill centers. At least one skill center in every Gram Panchayat. The country needs 2.25 lakhs skill centers to train rural youths to ask them to train on ground truthing, which is available, whether it is a spatial ground truthing or non-spatial ground truthing. It is
So
very important.
I have a point to make here. See,
Yes,
what you mentioned, 2.5 lakh skill centers. I think that's a
Gram
huge. That
Panchayat we
will.
need.
Yeah, but I slightly differ on that. See, what happens is that the challenge is not about having a skill center. The challenge is about understanding the aspiration of youth. There is no such mechanism to understand what the youth aspires to become in the future. What is the, if I want to become a doctor, if I'm willing to become an agriculture scientist, I'm willing to become a nurse, I'm willing to become a school teacher, those aspiration mapping is not existing right now. That is the need. You may have, for example, there are best of the brains that come to IITs and IIMs, right? There are very few institutions, but they're producing a lot of good talent. And in terms of, but the way the youth's aspiration mapping is missing, that is one core area where we should focus more, rather than creating, training centers. That is one, that's just an opinion from
Yeah,
my
it is
side.
very important. You highlighted it. I'm now, I have been talking about macro focus and micro focus at the grassroots level.
Yeah.
And at the, macro focus and micro focus has to be at the grassroots level, not at the district level, not at the state level. And because village is complex, cities are not complex. It is easily understandable, but village is complex. And that's why I also used to talk, over a period, that why can't we have district level, village level comprehensive information base, so that what you rightly said it, that every, as youth and every economic activity of in a village has to be mapped, and they have to be brought in to the complete value chain. And for example, that the 5 areas which you talk, those economic themes which have been taken out or has been considered in this aspirational district. Take agriculture, you take it, and you even in the agriculture, one mission, one program I talked about it. 85% of the disease which we get come from animal, and COVID is one such a situation. When the whole country, even in irrespective of whether we live in forest or a rural or urban area, we got affected. But the thing is that if we are able to have an technology enabled analysis, patient analysis at the village level, putting together human health, animal health, soil health, water health, and environmental health, and if we are able to have that analytical decision support system, what you have now brought it for these 35 districts, aspirational districts, you don't have to go for a lockdown in future, and only the particular area only has to be locked down in case of any pandemic situation arises. So it is a data-driven economy. That's why I have been propagating health informatics network value chain. I presented a first paper in 2011, in the National Agriculture Science Congress held at Lucknow. So the health informatics network value chain is a $1 trillion economy. Everything is vertical. Plant health is vertical. Soil health is vertical. Soil health is the minerals in soil health controls the metabolism of human cells and the plant cells and animal cells. If the soil is not healthy, human cannot be healthy, plant cannot be healthy, and animal cannot be healthy. And what we eat, what we drink cannot be healthy. It's more important. So that's why this program, I felt very happy. And since I have been instrumental for the programs from it 1987 onwards, District Information System program, where the district informatic centers, NIC center at the district level, district informatic officer and additional district informatic officers have been functioning, and how that informatics revolution, how it is helping the present aspirational district program for transformation. This linkage is very important. A lot of sectoral database programs, but today your presentation gives me that you have to put the pyramid bottom up. You have to see at the bottom up, at the grassroots level, really what is happening now. And this economics is necessary for these planning at the macro level, but the GIS geography is more important for the grassroots level sustainable development program. So GIS, especially GIS technology is more important at the grassroots level. And I'm very happy today. I was really emboldened to that I was able to try have a quick journey from 1987 to today. After you have after your presentation, it is a very fantastic, well thought about scheme. And but for if if you give me a chance to aspire myself, that every district in the country has to have this TADP, irrespective of because as a district, it has got it has got its own strength, it has got its own weakness still, and then it has got challenges and opportunities. That SWOT analysis can make every district has to be on war footing. The war footing has to be on challenges and opportunities, how to face the challenges and how to convert the challenges into opportunities. It is a very good data governance model. And I'm very happy that UNDP in its independent analysis, they said that it is a very important program. Every developing countries can take wherever the disparity is taking place, and it has to be developed. This is a model which has to be put it. That's why I'm very happy that today's title is very important, and this international webinar series on open source digital technology for self-reliant India. And it is more relevant because it is being in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization, which has got 31 member countries. So the today's talk, and also with the UNDP's recommendation report, independent report, can make these development agencies of these 31 member countries of ORDO can also look into this program of Government of India, which is happening in 117 districts in India for transformation of aspirational district program can be replicated. But I would like to now request you that how the 5 centers of excellence of the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology can associate yourself with the transformation of Rural India Foundation and also grassroots level to how to bring in our developmental research and academic program capacity building, and also that bringing in a lot of startups to work in very at the grassroots level. How to go about it, Mr. Gajanan?
So, yeah. So, sir, if you will see, TRI as an organization, our organization basically works on this theme. I'll just put one slide for you to understand more about TRIF. So, if you are able to see this, sir, this TRI basically works on the theme of collaborating community, government, and marketplace together, right? And we try to work for the bottom 1 lakh villages. So when we work with the government, we work with the community institutions to understand the ground reality, and we also work with the marketplace where the startups, business players, plus lot of technical institutions, either academic institutions or technical institutions, we collaborate with, right? So that's how we work. And I think there is a huge scope that you know the university and TRIF can play a major role. But if you will see the domain of work of TRI, it is largely towards economic prosperity of the community. So where we want to expand, the livelihood activity choice base for a rural family by way of bringing in technological intervention, by way of bringing lot of option choices. For example, if we work for a community, we go to a household and we'll ask them for an income of suppose say 5 lakh annually, how will you plan different interventions at the household level? So when you go to a rural community, they might not be able to tell you, okay, these are the 3 different intervention. I'll work on poultry, I'll work on agriculture, I'll work on vegetables. They may not know or understand about the technicalities of all these 3 together. They might be doing it. I mean, every family in rural area do some activity for the household survival. But how to expand that choice? So there is a need where agricultural technology can be in place, and we can also partner in terms of improving the value chain. We can partner in terms of improving the artificial intelligence for better crop productivity. So that could be one area where we can work together. And then there are work around community institution and Panchayati Raj institutions collaboration. So right now, if you will see, after the 73rd Amendment Act, the PRAs have been strengthened. The Panchayat institution, both Gram Panchayat, Block Panchayat, and District Panchayat have been strengthened, and there is a recommendation of 15th Finance Commission towards, giving more power to the Panchayati Raj institution. But how can we build the capacities of the Panchayati Raj institutions so that they can deliver better? And at the same time, all the community institutions, be it a self-help group, be it a farmers cooperatives, be it a producer cooperative, how can they sync their efforts together and take the maximum benefit? So their technology, I think, would be one of the interventions which can try to bridge the communication gap between these two institutions. So these are few of the thoughts which is just coming to my mind, but I think we can have a broader deliberation on this and think about how we can go together on this.
No, thank you very much. And I'm very, it's very important. And then a well developed institution. And because the title itself is Transforming Rural, India, it's a very important, and it's a foundation, transforming the rural India foundation. And it's very important that we should work together. And that's the reason only these 5 centers of excellence of the university. One is Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, to train the agriculture graduate and engineering graduate and non-engineering graduates work in the rural area on IT and agriculture, to take them back to agriculture as a preferred option. And the Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies. Every district, India has got about, as per the recommendation, 400 agriculture commodities. And this is very important that we should bring out a digitalized agricultural value system. And 3 major one: smart tribal farming, smart rainfed farming, smart irrigated farming. And we should synergize all central government schemes in this one to bring in that this is grassroots level development. Then India has got a sunshine for 365 days, 127 agroclimatic zones, and we can this 100 and this 55 this 35 district, it has a population of 55 million people. And if the 35 districts are developed on par with that other districts, and with the natural resource management is effectively utilized, I would like to quote what the chairman of the Hindustan Unilever, he said it in 2012: rural India is the powerhouse of development. It can add $1.83 billion to the Indian GDP. It is true even now. It will be more. And these 35 districts and the 55 million people residing over there, if this rural India is transformed through technology, and even this adoption of the 7 measurement programs of doubling farmers income committee report, which is available with the government to 2018. That's why these 2 webinars, Thursday is on national webinar series on doubling farmers income by 2022, and today is on digital technology in association with RDO. Means agriculture and digital technology can bring in a lot of development at the grassroots level. And this is very important. Today is the 66th edition, and it is very important talk today. Mr. GAJANAN RAUTA, from my bottom of my heart, I thank you for taking your time on Saturday to interact with us and also talk about in an open manner. This is a forum, the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, and DIMT University, in association with the RDO, we are providing for open innovation and value creation network in the digitalized world for self-reliant economy. is more important. And thank you very much. And we will have a further deliberation discussion as to how we should work together in the grassroots level in this 35 district or in the 117 district or 112 districts. The different numbers are being put it, and we have to see to that these districts has to be is not only we have to convert them as a well developed district, economically developed, and people should not move from these districts to the urban area for a job. They should be the wealthiest people in the district. With this, I thank you very much, and I would like to have an appropriate linkages and understanding with your foundation to work in this district. And that is, I invite you to get associated with the university in whatever capacity you would like to decide. Thank you very much. With this, thank you, and we thank all the participants for their participation. And for more research inquiries, please contact Professor Moni Maraswamy and Professor Emeritus, Chairman, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, former Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India, New Delhi. My email ID is moni@shobhituniversity.ac.in. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. We will, close the webinar and leave the studio. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.